Bei AOL, der Mann von AHA, Morten. Hi, Morten. Yeah, isn't it amazing? Yeah, we call it Goldelse. That's like the victory column here in Berlin. But let's talk about the show. You did quite a nice show. How was it in front of 300,000?
It was live. I lost all hearing, so I couldn't hear what I was doing. It's sometimes nice when you sing to actually hear what you're doing, but this is live, and you kind of expect things to happen like that. So
it's great. We loved it.
It was good. You want to play more, you know. I really appreciate just being part of this. I do.
Some people saying, pop and politics, that's a big issue here today. Being part of it, pushing politicians to do things. What do you think will come out of it? Today's event.
I think it's important regardless of the outcome. It's important because a lot of people have responded to it and want to do something in order to see a factual change. Because it is simply undignified, the situation that we have, and it's been for a very long time, and it's not good for anyone to even grow up in a situation where there is such a massive difference. It's not just a difference, but it is where so many people are coming from today in the poverty-stricken countries, where they really have no chance whatsoever. So I think this is a first step towards a fundamental change in direction, in what we actually want, in defining who we want to be. And if you can't go around and think that man has a good nature and stuff, if you don't actually see that we respond to this, that the grown-ups take charge and see to that this is not carrying on. And it is not necessary, because we're just looking at what we can afford to help with after we've put aside the things that we need for ourselves. But our need is debatable, but their needs are not debatable.
If you would be a politician, let's say you would be somebody who even taking part of the G8 summit, what would you do? What would be on your agenda?
It would be the same things. It's quite, for me, it's very simple. You have to define who you are and who you want to be, and then you cannot really do anything or let anything happen that goes against that. So I think, although the world of diplomats, they do a lot of important work, and it's a tough one. It's a really tough one, because in an emotional way of responding, you would cut all conversation, all communication with nations or leaderships that carry out that live in total breach of human dignity, and that is not the way either. So I don't know that I sit on a solution now, but I think what is very important is to know what we don't want, what we do not accept, what we cannot accept, and that's why a very simple thing for me is that basic human dignity must mean for all people, and that has to come first. Basic human dignity must come first. After that, when we've seen to that, we can start to divide things.
Listening to you, it sounds to me like you spend a lot of time thinking about political issues. What politicized you? What was the first event? What moved you? What made you think? What made you tick different? That things need to change. Can you remember that? When you were, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, whatever? Was it a song? Was it an event? Or was it?
I don't know. I don't know one in particular, other than later in life when I was grown up. There will have been many earlier on. No, but one massive impact on me was to learn about East Timor. In '93, I was contacted by a human rights activist, Maureen Davis, and she basically stopped everything else and started working to change their situation. The way East Timor has been dealt with by the Western countries after they were invaded by Indonesia is just appalling and completely unacceptable, and it changed things for me because I simply could not accept it. And to know that I'd grown up in a country, Norway, and I knew what things were like when I grew up. I knew who we were meant to be, how people were talking, how politicians were talking, what was debated, and who we basically claimed to be, and all our actions against this nation, pretty much knowingly as well by our politicians, did the complete opposite. Was just a massive violation, you know, and that was that was a very provocative thing for me.
Let's hope that this event tonight will move a lot of people all over the world.
The point is quite simple. You can't have a certain set of rules or sort of humanitarian ethic rules with your kids and your family and act differently elsewhere. You have to be the same. And if you like that somewhere else, then in that case we're selling stolen goods. Then is that okay? Then okay, then I'll go and do it the same. I'll do it in my country, and we'll see how it goes. We can't. It's a funny thing when you look at the poverty-stricken countries today are essentially the ones that have built the Western countries, the Western world. It was the injections that started the wealth of the Western world, and then we've lent them money. Lent the money. They don't owe us anything. So the whole thing is.
Well, let's hope that something good comes out of the JF Summit. Thank you very much.
So.